D2 playoffs are here, and we got Northwood versus Ferris State. Northwood is traveling to Taggart Field to take on the defending national champions and the number one team in the country, Ferris State. When this matchup first came out, I was frustrated, to be completely honest with you, because I'm like, these are two of my favorite teams in this entire state to talk about. I love talking about Ferris State. I love talking about Northwood. I love both of these teams. There's ballers on both sides. There's really great playmakers. There's guys that follow this podcast. There's guys that listen to this podcast from both teams. And I'm sure that they will probably listen to this preview for this one. And yeah, not going to lie, I was definitely frustrated because I wanted both of these teams to advance to at least week 2 of the playoffs, but I kind of knew going into it that they're going to be in the same region, so I knew that eventually if both of these teams did go far enough that there was a real possibility that they were going to play each other at some point, but we get the right to watch both of these teams play each other without even having to worry about one advancing over the other. So let's preview this game because obviously, like I mentioned, Ferris State defending national champions, won 3 out of the last 4 national champions, number 1 team in the country versus number 23 Northwood. I've talked about both of these teams quite a lot this year. I've mentioned throughout this season how I thought that Ferris State was going to absolutely roll through the season, how they're going to roll to a national championship. I also mentioned Northwood. One of the first episodes I ever did was the Northwood versus SBSU preview and recap, and I was wrong about Northwood, and ever since then I truly bought into this team. I truly bought into these players. This is a team that is very senior-led defensively. They have some playmakers there. Offensively, they have some really great, talented players as well. These are two coaching staffs that I completely trust. I think these are two of the best coaching staffs in all of D2. I think these are the two best coaching staffs around the country, to be completely honest with you. You have Coach Anise, who's done a fantastic job ever since he's gotten to Ferris State. He's a winner. He's everything that you'd want as a head coach. He's a guy that truly builds a program. He's a guy that has brought success, sustained success, and he's a guy that wins. He is basically the definition, it truly seems, of winning when it comes to being a head coach, especially at the D2 level. You also have Coach B at Northwood. What he's done at Northwood has been awesome to watch. He's really, truly turned around Northwood. He did that at Elby, and now he's doing it at Northwood. I said in kind of the preview against Walsh that if there was any coaching staff in this entire state that I would want going into the game, it would be them. Like, I truly believe that much into that coaching staff. They obviously got it done on the road to get to the playoffs, and now we're here. We're here with two teams that are very, very motivated. We're here with two teams that are very physical. We're here with a Ferris State team that, in my opinion, has the best offensive line in the country. We're here with a Northwood team that is elite, in my opinion, in the secondary. You have a guy in Cole Simpson that has been great this year. It hasn't been only him, though. You have a guy in Joel Athers who has been great at the linebacker position. You have some guys that can make plays in the secondary that can really turn over this Ferris State team. And this is a Ferris State team that, if we're going to be completely honest with you, there's been games where they've been pretty turnover heavy. This is going to be something to obviously keep an eye on for. Now, this is a Ferris State team that is a team at home that hasn't been beaten in a long time. There was not very many teams that have gone into Taggart Field and won. And that's why they're number 1 in the country. That's why they've won every single game this year, no matter the amount of turnovers they had. Now, this is a Ferris State team offensively. If you look at it, they're full of guys that are just playmakers. You have Tariq Brett, who's been fantastic this year. He's going to be really difficult to defend. Brady Rose is one of those guys. You have Chase Carter. You have a couple other guys. Wyatt Bauer. You obviously have Carson Golker. You have multiple guys, and then you even have the offensive line, like I mentioned. This is an offense that is really, really difficult to stop, and truly it seems like the only teams that have been able to stop them has been themselves. So I think really, obviously, taking care of the ball is going to be really, really important for this Ferris State offense. Now let's flip the sides. Like, you have Northwood offensively. I've already mentioned I think they have a few ballers on that team. I think this is a Northwood team with Ethan Hamby, who's been great this year. If you want to talk about a team that has been pretty good at protecting the ball, I think you really have to talk about Northwood. Now, this is a Ferris State defense that gets to the quarterback. This is a Ferris State defense that has made several plays this year, especially with forcing fumbles, with getting interceptions. This is a Ferris State defense that is very physical. They play fast. They fly around. This is not going to be a very easy task. This is going to be a task full of a great defense against a team that has been pretty good of keeping the ball protected against a crowd that is going to be very, very much against them. This is going to be an absolutely incredible atmosphere. This is going to be a really, really fun environment. I think this is going to be a game that is going to be full of some great plays. I truly feel like it's going to be a game full of which team is going to be able to force a mistake. And I feel like that's going to be one of those things of like, what can Northwood do if they force a mistake? Can they go up early? Will they go up early? Will Ferris State go up early? This is a game that if you're Northwood and you go up early, you have to keep your foot on the gas. This is a Ferris State team that we have seen throughout this year maybe go down a little bit, and then they make a really big run at the end. This is a Ferris State offense that has enough talent that can strike you quickly. This is a Ferris State defense that has truly brought their team back when it's needed to. This is also a Northwood team that they're going to probably want to try to continue to clock. This is a Northwood team that defensively, if they get their hands out of the ball, if you throw it toward Cole Simpson, you have to truly watch out. This is a team that I think is obviously coming in with a little bit of a chip on your shoulder because guess what? All around the country, basically if you ask anyone, they're going to pick Ferris State. And I absolutely would not blame you for that. I think they're obviously going to be the favorite. They're number one team in the country for a reason. They're the best team in the country. I think a lot of people are going to fully expect that Ferris State's going to win this game dominantly. Now, I have said throughout this season, I have never picked against Ferris State. I did say against SVSU, I thought that was going to be their closest game, and it ended up being their closest game. Do I think this is going to be the blowout that people think it will be? No, because these are two really talented teams. These are two talented teams that want to win this game. This is two teams with coaching staffs that I truly, fully believe in. This is a Ferris State team at home that I mentioned earlier, does not lose these types of games. This is a Ferris State team that is meant to make a run in the playoffs. This is a Ferris State team that is supposed to win the national championship. This is a Ferris State team that I've picked with every single game. This is a Northwood team that I have not done so. For a lot of these games, I have. The one game I picked against them was the team that I end up regretting. That was the game that they end up winning. That was the game that ended up truly, in my opinion, establishing what this Northwood team can be. And I think that this Northwood team is going to be one of those teams that a lot of people are going to not choose. And I think a lot of people, like I mentioned, are going to choose Ferris State. And like I mentioned, I wouldn't blame them whatsoever for picking Ferris State. I've been a guy on both sides of this. That's why it's so difficult talking about this and choosing a prediction, because I really, really enjoy both of these teams. I hate the fact that one of these teams has to go home after this. I have guys that, like I mentioned before, that listen to this. I have guys that I've talked to regarding this season. There's guys on both teams that I truly love watching play. And if they lose, this is going to be the last time that they play. Like, I don't want to say I'm fully invested in this or I'm on either of these teams. I'm not. But, like, when it truly comes to the end of things, like, this is a really difficult game for me to make a prediction because I truly do really enjoy both of these teams. And it's going to suck that one of these teams are going to end. It's going to truly suck that it's going to have to come to this, but that's what it is. This is the biggest game of the year for both of these teams. This is the playoffs. This is what you work all year for. This is what you want to have happen. And I think at the end of the night, when the clock strikes 0, I have one thing to say. My prediction for this game is roll Timbies. Northwood pulls off the upset at Taggart Field and advances for the playoffs. I just think they do. This is no shot at Ferris State. I think Ferris State is extremely talented. If I'm wrong, I will say so. I'm a backer of both of these teams. I appreciate both of these teams. I think both of these teams are really, really talented. I think both of these teams should advance. But for some reason, in my heart of hearts, I have to go with Northwood. I truly do. And if I'm wrong, I will admit it. And I will back whichever of these teams advances for the rest of the playoffs. But I had to pick one. I'm going with Northwood. Roll Timbies. We'll see exactly what happens. We'll see who wins. I'll talk about it afterwards. Good luck, truly, to both of these teams. I think it's going to be a fun game. I will be tuning in. I will definitely be watching. We'll see exactly what happens, but I'll talk about exactly what happens after the game. I will recap it, but good luck to both of these teams. And if you like this, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, comment as well. Let me know in the comments what you think of my prediction. Am I wrong? Am I right? Who are you backing in this game? I love both of these teams. I had to pick one, and I'm going to go with the upset on the road with Northwood. I think Coach B gets it done.